Hey, quick promo. This week's member-only gaming video is me playing Pal World again, part 4. This time, I'm attacked by I don't even know who. Hello. Welcome back to another video. What is up, you guys? I'm Fresh Cut Slim, and today I'm going to be reacting to I Miss YouTube Rewinds by The Odd Ones Out. Now, I also miss YouTube Rewinds. They were cheesy and corny and kind of cringe, but at the same time, there's something, I don't know, I like about them. But, yeah, anyway, let's see what James has to say. The original link's in the description. If you're new, subscribe to the family. Give a thumbs up and all that stuff. Let's begin.
Guys, I have a brilliant idea. What if we do the In My Feelings challenge? What do you think? What's the In My Feelings challenge?
Isn't that a reference to the YouTube Rewind from like 2018, 2019?
It was that dance people did outside of their moving cars in 2018. That's stupid. I know. It's weird to me that YouTube Rewind 2018 came out over 5 years ago.
That is weird. And when I think of like when I finished high school to now, the amount of time that's gone by, it does not feel like it at all. It only feels like a few years. Time flies fast. And you don't realize it. Like, I remember going into high school, and it felt like it would take so long to go through high school. And then when you're out of high school, it's like, well, then do you know, if you're going to go to college to be or a university to be a doctor or whatever, then that's like it's like 8 to 10 years, I think. Like, it's a long time, but you don't realize the time flies. So if you want to be a doctor or you want to do this, but you're kind of worried about the time, it flies and it's going to go by anyway. And if you have that desire to do something and you're worried about, oh, the time that it'll take or whatever, like the time's going to go by and you wouldn't want that time to go by. And then let's say 8 or 10 years down the road, you're doing something you don't want to be doing. And at that time, you could be a doctor, making good money and doing something that you really want to do, right? Does that make sense?
Which makes it old enough to be something to reminisce about. There's a fresh generation of iPad kids who don't get to experience the yearly tradition of coming together as a community and watching
and saying, who's that?
the newest YouTube Rewind. And absolutely hating it. In case you all forgot, the website youtube.com used to make these celebratory videos showcasing all the important events and memes that had happened throughout the year. And all these YouTubers
the 2019 one I think was actually quite good.
Would get together and do a silly little dance and everyone had a grand old time. And since these videos were produced by the very platform you're currently watching this on, rewinds would always receive a lot of attention. Now, according to my memory,
oh yeah, it'd be plastered everywhere.
YouTube rewinds were pretty well received at first. But you see, as time went on, the general public and the YouTubers involved started to grow weary. People were throwing around words like cringe and this isn't what YouTube represents and ah, that's that.
Quiet, Will Smith. Yeah, I think at first they were good, and even the 2019 one I think was good, if I remember correctly. But yeah, in that time of them doing it, the creators got so big. Like there are so many people with over 1 million subscribers now. You don't even know half of them when you watch the videos. You're like, oh, you recognize 2 people out of the 100 that were featured. Not actually recognizing anyone in it makes you feel kind of more disconnected from YouTube.
That's that. And it all accumulated to YouTube's magnum opus, YouTube Rewind 2018. Everyone controls Rewind. Hashtag YouTube Rewind. Which is a video that was so universally hated that it holds the world record for most disliked video ever. A record it will now hold perpetually because of the whole dislike thing. The audience wasn't happy.
I didn't know it actually had a world record for that. That's crazy. No wonder why they quit doing it. You received the most dislikes ever on the platform, your own platform. No kidding, the people making it are like, okay, let's not do this anymore. People obviously don't like it.
The YouTubers involved weren't happy until finally YouTube snapped and was like, all right, fine. If no one wants it, we'll stop doing it. We were just doing this as a favor anyways. And so YouTube discontinued the Rewind project indefinitely, with 2018 being the last time we...
Was it the last one? I thought there was a 2019 one. What the frig was the 2019 one?
you ever got a rewind. What about me, James? How dare you even consider yourself?
Was that just like a remix video or something? I don't remember. I thought it was like in my head I thought it was the 2019 one was all right, but I'm thinking it might just be like a music video or something. Frick, I gotta go look it up. Oh, I remember this. Okay, I was mistaken. This is not good. This is just like, I think it's like just like a countdown video or something. Yeah, it's like a top 10. I totally forgot. It's a top 10. Oh, I'm so mistaken.
Worthy of being called a rewind 2019. A top 10 video?
Yeah, I totally forgot. I thought it was good until I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's bad.
Oh, really? At least 2011 had Rebecca Black hosting. Leave 2019 before I tell you the top 10 ways on how I'm gonna hurt you. So getting back to the actual
He buried him, no!
last YouTube rewind, you know, the one with the most dislikes in the whole world. If we skip to 3 minutes and 2 seconds into that video, we see,
Guys, let's do the In My Feelings challenge.
oh geez, that's me. I know I'm a little late to the party, but since we've all had enough time to grow and reflect as people, I would like to
How old would have James been in 2018? 5 years ago. I don't know.
finally share some of my thoughts and experiences working on YouTube Rewind 2018. The first thing I want to talk about is how none of the YouTubers involved got any type of monetary compensation. At least none of the ones I
Oh, I love this meme. I forgot about this meme. And this meme. The E meme and the spaghetti. Lots of spaghetti. I love the spaghetti meme. I forgot how much I love that meme.
talked to did. This was a big issue that a lot of other YouTubers had in their expose videos, but I personally was not bothered by it. Was I getting paid in exposure? Yes.
Not much. As I already mentioned, there are so many creators in it. You don't really get any promotion for being in it because there's so many people featured. No one's gonna go out of their way to look up you. Well, not many at least will go out of their way to look up you as a creator and what you do. You're not really getting much promotion out of it. It's kind of more just like for your own ego, basically, right? Not saying that James is doing it for his own ego, but if you're doing it for promotion, you're not going to receive that much because unless you have like a huge segment to yourself. That does make sense because like just so many people, no one's going to go out of their way. Oh, who's this random person?
In fact, I actually lost money doing this because I had to get my friend Rush to animate some of the scenes, so I, paid him for his work. But what I'm trying to tell you is that as much as I'm about to complain about YouTube Rewind, don't feel any sort of empathy for me, okay? I did this to myself. I think the best...
Yeah, like you have the option to say, no, I don't want to do it. Like as long as they tell everything up front, like, hey, you're not getting paid for this. I don't know if they covered travel expenses. They should have done that. Like, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. They should have covered travel expenses for people to come to the studios where they're filming them. That's like the minimum of what they should have done. Actually pay people for it, that I'd say no. I mean, it's up to the people if they want to come or not.
Piece of advice I could give you is that if YouTube ever reaches out to you and is like, hey, do you want to be a part of Rewind? You should say,
no.
Let me read the script first. But I didn't
Yeah, maybe that.
know that in 2018. And I also didn't know that in 2017. If you look at YouTube Rewind 2017 and watch all the way to the end, keep going, right there in the credits is me and Jaden doing a floss in space. It was a lot cooler back then. They also wanted all the animators to animate our characters in the middle of a Jello fight, and I think they wanted to put our cartoon characters over footage of real-life YouTubers in the middle of a Jello fight.
That'd be a lot of friggin' work trying to get that done.
But they gave us no direction, and I don't think they ever filmed a scene where they were like, okay, real-life YouTubers, remember to leave that spot empty because that's where the animated guy's gonna go. Because, they gotta...
What they should have done was do a Jello fight on a green screen, and then you could literally just implement them in on the background or whatever. That's what they should have done. But also, like, for the animators, I understand that you lost money because you had to pay people to do it. But did you actually have to go to the studio? Because you're not putting yourself in there. Did you actually have to fly to wherever they're filming the stuff? Because you're not putting yourself... Like, you're just animating yourself and putting that in there. I don't know.
Plan that kind of stuff out ahead of time, right? So instead, they just threw our unusable animated Jello fight with no background at the very end as this extremely out of place post-credit scene. So 2017 was pretty uneventful for me. Like, yeah, I was in YouTube Rewind, but, I was in the credits. Who's going to stick around and watch the credits, But 2018
Well, I wasn't in YouTube Rewind.
was going to be my year. Rewind wanted me back, and this time they were giving me a speaking role. Holy shit! My line was going to be, guys, let's do the In My Feelings challenge. And then the YouTuber Swoozy, who would be in his real-life human form, would say, right? And then we'd fist bump Who Framed Roger Rabbit style.
If they said to me, hey, do you want to be in it? And then they gave me the script, and I read it right there, I'd be like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that. just reading it like that is like, that's cringe.
So do you remember that trend in 2018 where people were doing that
I still see people doing this today, and I've seen people do this and lose their cars, I don't know. I feel like this challenge, maybe not specifically this song, but people doing this exact same thing. I feel like that's still going on. This frickin' chair squeak's still going on.
Dance outside of their moving car? Well, apparently that was called the In My Feelings challenge.
Someone doing it on a bike like that, that's freaking dangerous.
Back in 2018, I didn't even know it was called that. I thought it was called stupid. Now, if you've at all watched
It is.
YouTube Rewind 2018, Everyone Controls Rewind, hashtag YouTube Rewind, you might be wondering why after I specifically suggest we do the In My Feelings challenge, that not a single YouTuber or talk show host can be seen dancing outside of a moving vehicle. That's because YouTube didn't...
Well, let me guess. It's dangerous, so they didn't want to push that kind of stupid squeaking chair. Oh my gosh. They didn't want to push that, dangerous kind of behavior. That's, I assume, what they... So then why would they put that in the script? Why would they put that in the script?
Didn't want to promote unsafe behavior. So they didn't want to show anyone dancing outside of a car. So they weren't really doing the challenge then, were they? YouTube, if you don't want to promote unsafe behavior...
Look at that butt.
Don't promote the In My Feelings challenge. Kids are still...
That's what I'm saying. Why would they even mention it then, if they're not going to do it?
We're going to look up the In My Feelings challenge and then watch multiple videos of people dancing outside of cars on YouTube. We don't want to promote unsafe behavior. It's on your platform, dog. Looking back, that should have been my first red flag.
I think the script would have been my first red flag. But them saying, not them saying that, you saying that as part of the script and them never not actually doing it doesn't make any sense.
But I was still optimistic. I was so excited to be a part of this huge project, and I knew there were going to be a bunch of YouTubers involved, but I was going to be one of the few animated ones. I was going to stand out. I was going to be the odd one out. Knowing
I like that.
how Rewind handled animation in 2017, when they asked me to be a part of 2018, I told them, hey, love the line, but I think it would
You told them you liked that?
be a good idea if we met in person, and that way you can show me everything you're planning.
Oh, so the 17 one they didn't actually meet. Okay. That's kind of what I was just assuming that they would do. But I guess it makes sense if you meet in person. Or what about a Skype call or something like that? But or Discord call. Literally anything.
And I can ask you all the right questions. And they agreed and invited me to visit the set the day they were filming Swoozy's line. So I was there, physically behind the camera, when Swoozy said, right? And then fist bumped nothing. I got to experience what it was like to be on a real film set with actors and directors and costumes and catering and makeup, and it was a lot, honestly, for just one line. And maybe it was because they had booked Swoozy for a full hour, but they had this beautiful man say, right? And then fist bump nothing no less than 50 times. It's one line, guys. I think we got it. And then after take 87...
Why would they do it so much? I get that you want to get the best shot, but right? There you go. Friggin' 10 seconds.
My stomach sank when the director said, okay, Swoozy, how about you try saying, guys, let's do the In My Feelings challenge. Wait a minute.
That's his line.
That's my line. Are we changing it? Which line am I animating now? Do you want me to do both, just like how you got Swoozy to do both? And what, you'll pick your favorites? I asked the director right there which line was I animating, and he said he was going to let me know. And then we went outside.
I'll let you know, kiddo. Stick around.
And filmed Swoozie dance in front of a brick wall, and which parts of him dancing was I going to animate my guy next to? He said he was going to let me know that too. So I took all the information I learned that day and referred it back to the other animators. What they wanted were 2 shots. They wanted 5 seconds of our
I thought I was going to say I threw it in the trash because they changed the script on me.
characters dancing, and they wanted another shot of all of us sitting around a campfire singing horribly. After doing some quick math, I realized that if all 7 of us animators did a 5-second dance, that would be 35 seconds of cartoons dancing, which for a YouTube rewind would be a lot of screen time. I had a
Yeah, especially because there are so many people in them that I don't think you actually have that much time dedicated to individual people.
sinking feeling that they weren't going to be using our full 5-second clips. And they didn't even let me know. Now, for my life-changing speaking role, I had to record my line on my own, which normally wouldn't be a problem. But in late 2018, I had just moved to California, and I didn't have my own setup set up. And to make the whole situation worse, I was only given 1 week to finish my animation and record my line. So, the clock was ticking. Now, I think the second
I guess the good news is, since you're so limited to the time that, it's not like you're making a 16-minute video, you're 5 seconds of animation basically, or whatever, right? You're not that much, it's not that long of animation, so it shouldn't be as hard to animate that. However, since I believe James does do, this is 2D, it's not 3D, it definitely is harder and more time consuming doing 2D animation than 3D in my own experience. So I guess 5 seconds still might take you a while, but I think a week for 5 seconds or whatever isn't that bad.
second best piece of advice I could give you is that if you're ever in need of a quick jerry-rigged sound booth, go into your closet and hide under a comforter. In fact, hello, real-life human James here, coming to you on a Blue Yeti inside of a bathroom. The acoustics in here are terrible. Could you imagine voicing a cartoon character in this? Guys, let's do the In My Feelings
The freaking reverb.
challenge. See, it doesn't work. Now. All right, and now we're here inside of our makeshift sound booth, and you can hopefully hear the
Wow, it actually works well. What the frick?
quality change right away, guys, let's do the In My Feelings challenge. See, we don't need
That actually works surprisingly really good.
expensive sound booths to have a good time. But back in 2018, I wanted the most important line in my career to be recorded in a professional sound booth. Luckily, I was in luck. You see, California is
Can you buy them, and get them shipped to you, or do you have to, go to a place and, a studio and actually rent it?
one of the few places home to something called a YouTube space. A YouTube space advertises itself as a place to aid content creators, providing them with facilities to create content for their YouTube channels. And to access said facilities,
I looked in the comments before I started reacting to this. Someone said that the YouTube spaces were actually closed down in 2021. Which is sad, because that definitely means they're not going to be coming back with YouTube rewinds. It most likely means that, should I say.
you needed at least 10,000 subscribers. A little weird they put a number on it, but I get it. I had just moved to California. I knew I was going to be hitting this place up all the time. When I first went to the YouTube space, I didn't call ahead or set up an appointment or anything because there wasn't an option to do so on the website, but I figured they would have to help me out, right? The line I needed to record was for a YouTube rewind, and you're a YouTube space. Susan personally asked me to be here, So I drove and...
Are you pulling a Karen right now, James? Don't be pulling Karens, please. You should be able to book the space. That only makes sense. Or at least call in and book it. And if that isn't an option, that's weird. I guess I understand why they would have a limit of say 10,000 subscribers that you have in order to use the space, because then you might have people with very, very small amounts of subscribers, 10 to 20 or something like that, coming to try to use it when, I don't know, I guess it's kind of picky and choosy, but I understand.
Hour to the space, I went inside, showed them my sub count, and they said that in order to use the facilities, I had to fill out all these forms. on my computer back home, but it's for YouTube Rewind. Then I drove another hour back home and started filling out the
It was an hour drive to use it. You just... Oh, that sucks.
forms, but by the time I got to the quizzes, I realized, I think this wild goose chase is probably going to take longer than a week to resolve. With time running out, I gingerly asked my new friend Aaron if I could use his setup, and he said yes, and I didn't even have to show him my sub count. I mean, I showed him anyway, though. So the line,
Look at it. Look at it.
you hear me say in the 2018 Rewind was recorded in the Game Grumps office,
Oh, that Aaron. That's the Aaron you were talking about.
which I think means, at the very least, Game Grumps deserves to be credited in the description of Rewind. Come on, YouTube. They were the only ones who took me in when your own company turned me away.
They are like a huge gaming channel, right? I mean, I don't know how many gaming channels were featured in Rewind, if any, but you'd think they would have been.
Line was fast
Well, Markiplier was, I guess. And PewDiePie.
approaching. I mean, it was fast approaching as soon as I got it, but I've been in crunch mode before, and I'm sure the nameless video editors were just trying to hit their impossibly tight deadlines too. I reminded myself what I was making all of these sacrifices for. Everyone was going to unanimously love this video, and what it
At least that's the hope.
represents, and look at my channel afterwards and subscribe.
That's what I'm saying. No one's going to do that, or not many people are going to do that, right? I know, I don't think, I might have looked up like one or two people out of all of the rewinds, but I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh, that one individual there, let's check him out. I don't think that many people did that. You don't get much promotion out of doing it. It costs money to do it because they aren't paying you, and if they aren't paying you to travel to be in it, then it's even, you know, there's a cost to it. If anything, I find it to be more of a vanity type of thing to do. Like, it's kind of just for your own, oh, I was in it, or whatever.
December 6th, 2018. A day that changed history. It was raining that day,
Yeah, that's hot.
and the world was exposed to what YouTube had been cooking up. And they all collectively hated it.
I love the first scene with Will Smith saying this cringe stuff. I love that. I love that scene. It's cringe, but it's so funny. People made so many memes out of it. It's probably my favorite scene out of all the YouTube rewinds.
Like, a lot. Like, to the point where I would be lucky if I didn't lose subscribers. I think the audience knew that none of the YouTubers involved had any say in the creative process. We were just reading our lines from YouTube's script, you know? So at least I get to say I'm in the most disliked video in history, and no one's too mad at me. Right? So was all of this stress worth it? No. I got paid in exposure, and the exposure was overwhelmingly negative. In fact, I think Rewind was only positive for one other YouTuber.
Will Smith, I remember when he was like trying to do YouTube or something at some point.
You have any guesses? Jaden
Oh, Jaden.
motherfucking Animations pulled off the biggest prank of 2018.
Oh, I remember this. She put in PewDiePie. Wow, I'm surprised I actually remember that.
One of the reasons people disliked 2018's Rewind was because PewDiePie, the #1 YouTuber at the time, wasn't included. But Jaden, being the genius that she is, knew he wasn't going to be included again, so she snuck in a PewDiePie reference into her 5-second dance, and no one caught it, and it made the final cut. Jaden was crowned the least cringy part of Rewind, and everyone loved her, and she got a big boost in subscribers, and all I gotta say to that is...
Why couldn't it have been me? I remember when she did that. I totally forgot she did that too. She actually hid a few references. Like there was the chair. I think in the background she had images or something that referenced PewDiePie or someone else too. Like I remember that. That did help her out. I think Will Smith is still my favorite part of that video because it's so cringe but funny. Yeah.
Good job, Jaden. How are you enjoying that cake and eating it too? Now, there were a lot of valid reasons why people disliked 2018's Rewind. One of them being that the video starts out with Will Smith? He's not a YouTuber. But
I know, that's like, it's insane that it started out with him. He doesn't do YouTube. He didn't start off doing YouTube. I think he, at one point, was making some YouTube videos, but he should not. He does not represent YouTube, so he should definitely not have been the first person to do it. But him doing his freaking cringe at the beginning is the best.
But they didn't seem to mind when 2016 started out with The Rock and 2017 started
Did it? I don't remember that either. Yeah, those people aren't really YouTubers.
with The Colbert Show, but whatever. And I don't know if you remember what YouTube was like in 2018, but it was in the news a couple of times, over a few small things. However, with all of that being said, I do genuinely miss YouTube Rewinds.
Same. I like the cringe. I don't normally like cringe, but there's something about the YouTube stuff that's kind of a wholesome cringe, and you get to pick on everything. I don't know. There's something amazing about it that I do miss.
Getting to wake up and go, wow, it's December and a new YouTube Rewind just dropped. I'm gonna watch it. And then I get to see a handful of YouTubers I recognize do a dance and not recognize any of the other YouTubers.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many people. You don't know who anyone is.
And then I get to see the rest of the internet's reaction to it. It's better than Christmas for me. Even if it's the cringiest video ever, we still all watched it together as
I know. I get it. I miss it too.
a community. And I think that's what I miss the most, when YouTube felt more like a community.
That's what I was trying to say at the beginning. I didn't really say community, but like with so many people in it from different parts of the world and everything, it makes you kind of realize how huge YouTube is. And it kind of makes you realize that it isn't just like a tight, even with the rewind, like I think it's everyone watching and everything. Yes, you do get that community feeling. But when there are so many people you don't recognize from different parts of the world, like there's just so many people, it kind of makes you feel less of a community because there's just so many people. You don't recognize anyone. At least to me, that's how it kind of made me feel. It's like, I don't know any of these people. And I have nothing against them. It's just that it kind of ruins the feeling of a community that YouTube has or has had.
As long as it's not a top 10 video, I welcome back YouTube Rewinds with open arms. And if they do make a comeback, I don't think I'd want to be a part of them. Not because I got burned in 2018, but because I wouldn't want to rob another ignorant YouTuber of the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be taken advantage of.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it for that. But if they do come back, and I really hope they do, I want them to, one, grab YouTubers who are loved, who are like big ones that are loved, and get them to help with the script, if not write the script themselves. Doing that, I think, would bring so much more love into the videos than just having, like what they have had.
And work for free and be a part of history. For now, we just have to live with the 9 rewinds we do have. But if you're like me and are just dying to see more YouTube Rewind content, and I know you are because you're still here, I've discovered a pretty massive Easter egg. In the description of Rewind 2018 is a link to See All the Easter Eggs. And for your viewing pleasure are 13 brand new shorts that I can only describe as skits that were edited together with existing Rewind footage. I don't think that's
What? What do you mean?
what an Easter egg is. They're not that funny and are pretty hard to watch, but isn't that what Rewind's all about?
So, like, the people who edited the rewinds, they just took the clips from it and then made other little clips or something?
Have a good night.
I don't know. Anyway, I hope you like this video. I really enjoyed this, and I do agree that I want YouTube Rewinds back. I just want, if they come back, make sure that you have actual YouTubers write them, and make sure, if the YouTubers that are writing them, make sure they are loved by, like, everyone or a lot of people, because I remember at one point you'd have YouTubers who aren't really YouTubers or who are really, I don't know, cringe YouTubers, and they would, I think they did help at some points, and I don't think it helped any. I don't think it actually helped. But, if they are going to come back, make sure you have beloved YouTubers help write the script, as well as actually maybe pay them so that they have an incentive to make it good. But I don't know. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe to the family. I'll see you guys next time.